Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Leadership Spotlight, the brand new leadership series on OneStream Live. Here we host conversations with the world's most innovative thinkers and industry leaders shaping the future of technology, business, and leadership itself. I'm your host, Chris Ascotra, and joining me today in the OneStream Live studio is my special guest, Mrs. Talia Wolf. Welcome, Talia.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me. I know you've been traveling and you are a sought after speaker. You travel the world and talk to conferences and events. So great honor and pleasure to have you here with us. Allow me to say a couple of words about you for those not familiar yet with you and your work. You are the author and founder of Get Uplift, an optimization agency chosen by top brands such as Bitly and Strata and many others, that you help them to drive more leads and sales and conversions. You are the conversion queen, and you always put the customer-centric, customer-first approach in your work. We talk about your amazing book as well. You have developed and trademarked the emotional targeting framework. We will open up this concept in our episode today. And you're one of the most influential experts in the field of conversion optimization. Do I say it all right?
It was more than necessary. Thank you so much for having me.
Talia, let's set the stage a bit for our viewers and listeners. So I said that you're helping a lot of companies, SaaS, e-commerce, B2B, from a variety of industries and so on. But how would you define conversion optimization today, and why is it important for businesses and a variety of industries that people that are watching us? What is it? How would you define it today, other from the traditional approach, perhaps, that maybe some of us who study marketing learned at the university, but in a hands-on way? And why does it matter? Why is it important?
So, conversion optimization is the art of optimizing your website and your funnel in order to increase conversions. Meaning, once you have traffic coming to your website and you have people on your site reading your emails, reading your pages, clicking on your ads and landing on different landing pages, how do you turn more of those people who are already there into customers, into leads? And conversion optimization is the art of optimizing all of that so that more and more people actually convert. I think the reason this matters so much in this day and age is that traffic is actually going down with the rise of AI and how things are working right now. We're seeing less and less traffic to websites. What that means is that you want to make sure that when people do come to your website, they're getting the best messages, the best design, the best customer experience, and you're making sure that when they land there, they clearly understand that your product or your solution or your offer was designed for them and they convert. Otherwise, the chances of them coming back are really low.
What would be the differences between the traditional approach and something that's been done before the rise of AI even, versus what you are preaching about in your book, in your daily work? How things can be done differently and more effectively so that we can achieve this goals that you just mentioned?
So traditional conversion optimization is all about changing elements on the page, meaning you look at Google Analytics, you see that you have a problem on your homepage or maybe a landing page, and then you actually just look for solutions. So what could be the problem? Maybe we should change a headline, maybe we should reduce a form field, maybe you change the color of a call to action button. It's very specific to changing elements on the page. The way that my team at Get Uplift goes about it is very different. We understand that every conversion, every time someone performs a conversion, a task, or something that we've asked them to do, maybe buy something or leave a lead or sign up for something, they have made a decision. Actually trying to understand what are those emotional triggers? Why do people buy? What do they feel right now? How do they want to feel? And then create a website that speaks to those emotions. Essentially, really just optimizing for the customer themselves. And instead of changing elements on the page, what we're doing is we're trying to solve very specific problems throughout the whole customer journey that appeal on an emotional level to prospects.
So problem solving with a solution focused approach and a human centricity to it. Do I understand it right?
Yes, definitely.
What drew you into this field? Do you come from a background in psychology, in consumer psychology, in marketing? And what was the inspiration you had when you said that this is what I want to do and I want to even write a book about it?
So honestly, my background was actually in social media and driving traffic. And, this was years and years and years ago. And one of the things that was really concerning to me is that we were so focused on driving traffic, but we didn't really know if people were converting. And when we started paying attention to that, we, as a social media agency, we were just changing random stuff. And, we changed a headline or we changed a visual, but nothing that we could really say, oh, this had a big impact. And the more I tried to optimize, the more mistakes I made, the more best practices I followed or tried to copy all sorts of competitors and see what the big leagues are doing. And nothing really worked. That was the point where I went back to the drawing board and asked myself, what's the best way to increase conversions? And I understood that if I can understand how people make decisions, so what is a decision-making process for someone? How do they decide what to buy? Then what I can do is I can improve the customer journey based on those decision-making levers. And that's kind of why I got started. And the more I dug in, the more I tried to figure out how people make decisions, the more I understood that emotion is huge and it has the biggest impact on every decision that we make. So in order for me to actually understand why people buy, I need to understand their emotions. I need to understand how they feel right now, how they want to feel. I need to understand their emotional triggers. And we actually uncovered over 223 emotional triggers for our research and started actually optimizing for that. So my entire journey just started by, okay, let me figure out what is the root of every conversion. And that's a decision. And that's where I got started.
Excellent. Let me show for our viewers. This is your book. You are the author of this book. People can grab it at your website at taliawolf.com/book, and of course on Amazon and all other places. The title of it is Emotional Targeting, Win Hearts, Boost Sales, Own the Market. And there, as you were just explaining, you challenge the idea of how people make decisions, not only based on features, on logic, or random things, as you said, changing this on the website, and yes, what was the impact it had, and so on, but based on emotions, and you talked about those emotional triggers. Let's dig a little bit deeper there. How do you balance? Because on the one hand, marketers need to prove that they have some data to support the decisions they're making. And on the other hand, from the one hand, we have the data-driven approach, and then we have the customer and the human-centric approach. Where is that balance, and how do we have the logic and the brain and the heart as well, and the brain and the heart, both the emotion and the logic? What's the balance there?
So I think the most important thing to remember is, for years we're being told that we need to be data-driven. Data-driven usually means, let's collect age, geographical location, browser, devices. Let's focus on all the behaviors of our customers. And we're kind of collecting that data like Pokemons because we're told to be data-driven. But the data that we're not collecting is the strategic data. We also need to uncover more qualitative research and do surveys and interviews and social listening and actually see what people are talking about online and really dig into those pains and concerns and hesitations. What happens is if we're only focused on actually collecting the behavioral data, we're missing a huge part of how people make decisions. So the balance is you start with uncovering the why. That's where we start. Why do people buy? What are the emotional triggers that drive their decision-making process? And then we look at the data in GA4 or other other platforms to uncover where the problem is, because behavioral data tells you what's not working, where the problem is. It doesn't tell you why it's happening. So you can't actually optimize any website or any customer journey if you don't have both of these points. Once you know where the problem is and you know why people buy from you, then you can actually look at a website and clearly see what's not working. This is why I talk about the hamster wheel of optimization, because we go into GA4, we see there's a problem, but we have no idea what the problem is. So we just throw stuff and ideas and we best practices and whatever on the page. But if you have both the emotional research and the behavioral research, you can marry the two and you can actually get so much better results.
Yeah, exactly. And I was wondering about this. You talk in your book about this deadly hamster wheel of optimization. To make sure that everybody understands about this, let's summarize the common pitfalls and of funnels, websites, the digital experience, the customer journeys. What are, from your experiences, the pain points that your clients are facing, and how to get out of this continuous loop and the hamster wheel? What are the common mistakes or pain points, and then what do you propose, and how do you work with your clients to solve those problems?
I think the biggest mistake that I see out there is that most brands make it about themselves. They highlight the features, the pricing, the technology. They talk about themselves and their own product, and they don't put the customer first. This creates the hamster wheel of optimization, where you know that something isn't working, you don't know what to fix, because it's easy to find that there's a conversion leak, but knowing what changes to make on a page is the biggest question mark everyone has. So we get on this hamster wheel where we're essentially changing elements on the page, and we're just kind of trying best practices. We see some LinkedIn guru write something and we try and reverse engineer that. And when all of that doesn't work, we go and look at our competitors because we think our competitors know what they're doing. So we try that. And then what happens is we all end up sounding and looking exactly the same. So when our prospects come to our website or to our competitors' websites, they can't see the difference and they have no idea why they should choose one over the other. So then we start throwing tools at the problem. We think that AI will help. We think that a cool landing page builder or an A/B testing tool will actually help. So we spend money and time and hours and we onboard so many people onto these tools, and then we have to start using them. But you need a strategy to start using them, which means that you're, again, just throwing ideas and you're just never ending kind of the cycle. So the way to get off the hamster wheel is 3 steps. Number 1 is doing meaningful research, which is uncovering why people buy. Step number 2 is utilizing those insights, understanding why people buy, and then utilizing it in order to audit your website and see what's missing, why people really aren't converting. And then step number 3 is running meaningful tests in order to optimize your customer journey.
Show us a little bit. I think you have the book next to you. Show us a little bit the book that you have. Is it near you?
Yes.
All right. Here I have it here on the screen as well. Yes, here you have the physical copy. You were showing me. I asked you about the tables, the knowledge that it's depicted there in the book. So tell us a little bit from so you touched upon now with the 3 steps that you mentioned. If we think about the customer journey and the funnel, tell us a little bit about the traditional approach, what we are being taught, and then what do you infuse in each part of the process from the emotional targeting framework? So what is the traditional versus the emotional targeted one, the approach?
So the traditional conversion optimization process is you going into GA4 and essentially looking for where the problem is. And you identify that, let's say it's the homepage. There's a big leak on the homepage. Next, you create a new variation based on whatever you've Googled or asked people in the office, and you make changes. And then if you increase conversions because you run a test, great. And if you don't, then it's failed, right? The emotional targeting framework does it differently. First, we uncover why people buy, meaning we run meaningful research, surveys, interviews, social listening, review mining, emotional competitor analysis. We really dig into the real reasons people buy. Then we find where the problem is. So it's on the homepage, going back to that. Then we audit our website or the homepage. And usually when you think about a CRO audit, the traditional CRO audit is heuristics, making sure best practices are in place, making sure you don't have 2 call to action buttons, or looking at heat maps on user recordings. But the piece we don't do is we don't ask strategic questions. In an emotional targeting research and a CRO audit, an emotional CRO audit is all about asking yourself, hey, am I making it about myself or am I making it about the customer? Am I highlighting the pains that people actually feel throughout the whole funnel? Am I actually focused on the outcomes that they care about? Am I using social proof and stories that resonate on an emotional level? Or am I just using generic themes like everyone else? So the emotional targeting audit is all about uncovering why people aren't buying. You now have all these insights about the pains that people feel, the hesitations, the concerns, the challenges they feel every day, and how they want to feel. So looking at the website, it's so much easier to see, oh, my social proof is too generic, or the copy was speaking to everyone when we should be speaking to these people, or everyone's so concerned that this product is a gimmick or that it's going to be hard to use our solution, but we're not even addressing this on the page. Mm-hmm. So that is the second step. And then the third step is running meaningful tests, which is different from the traditional, because in the traditional, you change an element on the page. An emotional targeting test is all about trying to solve a problem. So if we know that on the homepage, people can't easily see that this solution was done for them, our whole test is about that. So it's just reframing the whole way that we actually
run. The mindset has to change also from the practitioners, right? What is the feedback you've gotten from your colleagues, from marketers who are used to this more traditional approach, A/B test, changing some elements, doing this and that? When you present this framework, the emotional targeting framework, and all the great things you've listed, because I believe they really go deep to the soul of the consumer and seeing it quite holistically, the whole process, the whole funnel, the whole journey, and addressing, as you said, the why. And that's important. This is, I think, the root cause of every decision, why we're doing what we're doing or we're about to do. So what is the feedback from your colleagues? Do they get it? It's like, yeah, of course. Of course. Obviously. Or are they reluctant? Or what kind of feedback you've gotten from actual practitioners who work with clients optimizing their funnels?
So my team is obviously on board with the emotional targeting research and the whole approach that we use. And honestly, what usually happens is when we work with clients, we work with teams that have a marketing team, or they have a CRO team, or they have someone on the team who is in charge of driving more conversions. And very quickly, they can see the difference between what they've been trying all this time and what's finally starting to work, because maybe they weren't completely bought in to the process, but once they start using it, they can suddenly see the immediate results. Yes, exactly.
And what is the timeline? So when you start working with a client, some of these amazing brands and companies, and anybody you have worked with, when the results start showing, of course, is it a more lengthier process with all the research, or when the first results start appearing and then becomes, aha, yeah, the concept is proven to work out?
So I think the most important thing to know is that emotional targeting isn't just like fluffy headlines, right? And when you do emotional targeting the right way, you're weaving emotion throughout the entire customer journey in a very deliberate way. And you're making sure to appeal to everyone on an emotional level and meet people where they are. So a lot of the times you can get results pretty quickly, but you have to continuously optimize everything. So we have clients we've worked with for 2 or 3 years where, of course, when we got started, there were bigger changes to make and we could completely, redesign stuff and rewrite pieces. But as time progresses, you start seeing even more results when we start working on their emails, on their ads, on their landing pages, when we start even thinking about the menu and the navigation on their website and how how they're actually appealing to people, if the actual customer journey works or doesn't. So immediate results are imminent, but the most important thing, in my opinion, is not the immediate results that you get once you start doing it, but constantly trying different things and continuously trying to optimize for emotion.
I just showed your website as well.
Oh,
You do amazing work with your company. You're the founder of Get Uplift yourself. So here below is the website getuplift.co. Great resources. I'll show the website once more. Tell me from your perspective as a founder and as a leader and as an entrepreneur, what is your leadership style? Are you very emotional driven? Do you follow what you preach in leading your team?
Yes, I always joke that emotional targeting is ingrained in everything that I do. One of the most important things for me is understanding my team's emotional triggers, how they feel, how they want to feel, what would make them feel better in everything that they do. So a lot of my focus with clients too is thinking about, okay, what are they trying to achieve other than obviously conversions? So a lot of the work that we do is all about just working with great humans, creating beautiful relationships and connections, and helping each other out. And that for me is more important than any skill that you can teach.
You have great resources on your website, Talia. I'll show it once more here for our viewers. Walk us through a little bit here. What do we find under resources for people that want to get to know a little bit more? And that you have a cool email course as well. I think I've enrolled myself. So tell me a little bit here. Walk us through what we see here.
So we have different ways that you can engage with us. This specific page that you're on right now is the free 5-day course that I teach how to start tapping into your customers' emotions. So I teach the different research methods that we do and how to kind of pull insights from that, and then how to translate that into high converting copy. But we also, of course, have paid courses. Emotion Sells is our flagship course where I teach exactly how to actually optimize your entire customer journey using emotion. And there's just different ways that you can engage. There's the book, there's Emotion Sells, as you can see here. There's consulting, there's coaching. We also do monetary services. Yes. And there's all sorts of different trainings that we provide.
Excellent. Tell me a little bit about your team. How big is the team of Get Uplift that does the magic?
So the team is actually quite small. We're a boutique team, and most of the people that I work with have been with us for almost 9 years working. And we also have a big set of contractors who work full-time for us. So we're a fully remote team, which is wonderful because people work from all over the world. And we have the core team, which is CRO strategists and data analysts and copywriters. And we also have a really lovely network of contractors that we work with that really work with us full-time on projects and help our clients. And we're more boutique because we truly believe. So in the past, I used to run a different agency for CRO, and we were a lot more people. But I honestly felt like we had all the knowledge, we were doing all the stuff. And as soon as we finished working with the client, we'd walk out with all that knowledge. So actually having a boutique and small team helps us not only do the work, but also train the internal team so that when we're no longer working together, they have all of these frameworks and all of these processes.
So it's a multiplier effect and building on the knowledge. Excellent. Tell me a little bit and tell our viewers here on Leadership Spotlight, the variety of industries you worked with and the clients. How do you ensure with your boutique firm that you maintain yet the personalization and the knowledge, perhaps industry specific, and then you move to another client from a totally different industry? How does that spill over? How does that knowledge transfer to the next client, to the next project? Tell us a little bit the insights you got and from the variety of clients and industries you work for, and how you build exactly that accumulative knowledge.
So I think one of the most cool things about the way we work is we really do work with B2B, e-commerce, service-based companies, universities. We work with HVAC companies. We work with huge SaaS brands. And what's incredible, in my opinion, is that every time we come in with zero knowledge. We don't actually know a lot, which I think gives us a huge advantage because we're not involved in what anyone has as an opinion within the company. There's no politics involved. There's no, pre kind of thinking about what is and who is the customer. So us coming in also really helps with getting everyone on the same page because we run our research and we present it to the team and we say, hey, look, these are your ICPs. These are the people that you're speaking to. Here are the things that are stopping them from converting. Here are the things they want to see on the page in order to convert. Here's what their emotions are. Here's how they want to feel. And suddenly everyone on the team is on the same page. So whether in your product, you're in sales, you're in marketing, everyone is aligned to those things. And I think what's really amazing is that we don't actually have to know a lot about the product in order to really provide meaningful results. I would say that moving from project to project or working with different clients, the one big thing that we probably take from one project to another is being very, very specific about the research that we run and the outputs of it. Really spending a lot of time getting to know the business and how it works and how it actually makes money and who the ICPs are or the customers are, and making it about that. But every company is completely different. And that's what I love about it.
Great. Talia, you are quite an inspirational person, not only as an entrepreneur, a woman in tech, a business owner. You are invited to talk to a lot of conferences and events around the world. You just returned from a trip abroad and a conference you spoke to. Tell us a little bit from your perspective and your own growth and your own leadership. How is this experiences when you're talking and sharing your insights and based on real hands-on experiences and of course all the mental were the theoretical framework and practical hands-on experience that you have. So how is that shaping you as a leader? Are you a curious person? Do you learn more when you're teaching others and sharing? What is the benefits of spreading the word? You're just passionate about the topic and you want to share it as a megaphone for the whole world to see. How does that help you as a leader and as a person?
So I absolutely love teaching and I love getting on stage and being able to speak to the different people in the room because I know that so many people are experiencing the same challenges and really are stuck. So for me, being able to help people with my courses or on stage or through consulting and coaching really is a big piece of what I love doing. I am very enthusiastic about the framework, and I don't feel like I need to hold it dear to my heart and not tell anyone. I want everyone to start using it, especially now with AI and the fact that everyone is just using the same tools to pull generic themes and generic articles, and everyone looks and sounds the same.
Yeah.
So if you want to stand out in the slew of AI rubbish, you really do need to know your customers really well. So for me, I feel like it is the missing piece in every single marketing team. And I just want to see that, being taken and run with.
I agree 100%, and that leads me excellently to the last question I had for you. You touched upon it already. In this era of AI, where we try to get AI to help us solve some problems we think we have, where we're not using our own brains and creativity, and then we take the AI work and try to humanize it with AI. So it's the hamster wheel of insanity. So tell us a little bit, how important is creativity, human centricity, storytelling? Because at the end of the day, isn't it so that humans make the actual purchasing decisions, right? We're still humans. And we are making those important business decisions. So why would anybody have artificial or speak through artificial mouths? Or I've written an article on LinkedIn myself saying that if your brand speaks through artificial influencers and artificial mouths, maybe human ears will stop listening. So bringing humanity back, and let's emphasize again, in this world that we're living, creativity, storytelling, emotions, why they matter so much.
Look, I think there's two ways you can use AI, right? One of them is you can outsource all of your thinking to it, and you can hope that it will work well. The other one is to bring your own creativity and your own insights and all the research that you've done in your strategy and use AI to empower you, to streamline things, to fast track stuff. And that's the way you should be using it, because otherwise we're all going to be very, very stupid people because we're outsourcing all of our thinking to AI. And here's the thing, at the end of the day, what people are using AI for is to solve problems. So if your customers are going into AI and they're looking for a solution, they are all getting the same stuff. Everyone's seeing the same things because AI is combing the web and it's just pulling generic things, and everyone's seeing the same stuff. So everyone's being told to have a bold headline and a call to action and don't forget to do this, but that's not what sells. What really, really sells is when you speak to someone's heart and show them that you understand them, that you know the pains they're going through, that you understand how they feel right now and how they want to feel. And that's also the only way to stand out, because the more people use AI, the more they're going to look and sound the same. Meaning that if you could probably take your own logo and swap it with your competitor, and no one will even know because everyone looks the same. So emotion and storytelling, especially in a world where everyone feels so isolated and people want human connection, that is the real secret to increasing conversions and creating something that's more powerful and bigger than yourself. And I just think it's the missing piece in everything.
Talia, would you like to be remembered? How do you want to stand out in this competition? You as a person, as a woman, as I said, in tech, as an entrepreneur, as a mother, as a professional. How do you want to be remembered and stand out in the near future?
It's a good question. I think for me, when I hear people say, you changed the way I think about marketing, or everything changed for me after I started using your framework, those are the things for me that I love the most, because I feel like I have a real impact and I'm able to help real people. So I guess helping, just being known and remembered as the person who really helped crack something and really understand something and change the way you do stuff and the approach and your strategy, that to me is just being that person that can help, is the most important thing. I think I thrive most when I speak to entrepreneurs and founders, and I somehow find a way through my courses to help them really understand who they're speaking to, really transform their marketing, and create businesses that help other people. So that to me is the biggest piece, just helping.
And you have done excellently. Check, ladies and gentlemen, more at Talia. Find her on LinkedIn. Connect with her. She has a great followership there and shares great content. Talia Wolf. Get her book, taliawolf.com/book, The Emotional Targeting Framework, which is trademark and proprietary. And we have also her company that she founded. Go to the resources. Check out all the workshops, all the insights. She's a great teacher. She likes to spread the word about the things she feels passionate about. And indeed, you've helped a lot of companies solve real problems they're having in their line of work. So I'd like to thank you, Talia Wolf. You were here with me today in Leadership Spotlight. Is there anything else you'd like to add that we haven't addressed today and you absolutely want to get it out of your system?
No, not really. Just be good people. The world needs kindness,
yes.
And we need better customer journeys so that life can be a little bit easier. So just be kind and think about the people first, not your product, not your solution. Think about the people you serve, and that will make everything better.
Excellent. People first. Talia Wolf, thank you so much for joining me. Have a nice rest of the day. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. This is a Leadership Spotlight powered by OneStream Live, the cloud-based platform from Finland that enables you to multi-stream to more than 45 platforms and your website as well, or record and stream the pre-recorded content as live again to everywhere you have a presence, whether it's your own website, of course, or your social media. So thank you for tuning in. Next time, I'm here with another inspiring and inspirational leader, and I'm going to pick their brains and bringing those insightful discussions to you. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time with another episode of Leadership Spotlight. Bye.